try and see if I can set this. My hand. It's not the best quality, I understand. Some of the words that I got for today had to do with building and building your life in a way that reflects who you really truly are. Not to deny your quirks. You need to integrate them at this point. People can't accept you for who you are. Accept them for who they are. Got to start learning how to teach people how to treat us. Hang on one second. I'm going to turn a light on. And I think that that's an important word for right now, for the collective, is not to get too upset when people don't understand. When people don't understand who you are or who we are as a collective. We're a different type of people. And not everybody is going to understand everything that you understand. So, staying vibrationally ahead of the game is important right now, especially when you're building yourself up. When you're building yourself up to do good things and be a good person in a world where it seems like that hasn't been cherished. Everybody wants conformity instead of individuality. And that actually, when you conform, you're supposed to transform. It's biblical. And it starts here, in between your ears. Many of us, over the last 2-3 years, have undergone quite an intense shift that hasn't been easy. It's been trying and testing and because trying to fit in to where you really don't feel like there's no place where you really do fit in. And then it's like, where is my place in this world? We should be beyond that at this point. However, the programming that we had to undo, and realizing that we're not nuts and we're not crazy for having different views about things when you've been gaslit from every source, from the way TV programming is, to movies, to social media, to every function. Like, oh well, some of those old norms are switching and changing, and some of the traditions are good to hold on to. I'm not saying they're not. It's just one of the things that I know for me personally, you guys very well could feel this too, is coming to the realization that a lot of the stuff that we've been taught, if you've done the research on it, it's not factual. It's not truth. Especially when it comes to religion and what it means to know who God is to know who we are and why we were created, and to search in the heart space. Why are you here? You're not here just for a 9 to 5, believe it or not, to live out all your days in some for kind of crazy dynamic with people, just to die. We're here to leave a legacy and make our ancestors proud, make ourselves be proud of ourselves, make the one and only proud. Not that God doesn't love us unconditionally, but just to know that everything you're doing, if you're going through with this shift and stuff, that it was divine. It was a divine setup. And to be grateful for the process. So that place of gratitude is really, really, really big right now. It's really big right now. Yesterday, I took my time and mourned. And today I woke up and felt a lot better. Knowing that we're moving forward in our ascension process, and we're not going to let certain areas stop us. Absolutely. Do all your research. Make sure that you're being true to yourself, true to your calling, true to your purpose. Be that super empath that you were created to be. Sometimes it's really hard to find empathy for certain situations. But there is no but. It's the truth. It's hard to find empathy for certain situations where it's like, why? You know why the divine allows troubles to come? Because in conformity, you get complacent and you turn into a victim. And instead of doing something, you get depressed, want self-pity. It's not God wants. Not at all. God allows that stuff so you change. Creates the pressure so that we shift and we change and we don't stay the same. A lot of times it's a hard lesson. So we need to build ourselves back up. There was a big tearing down that had taken place up in, I'm going to get into a little astrology here. There was a big tearing down that had taken place over the last few years in the collective, in the individual. Hi, BBN. How are you? Long time no see. And guilty as charged. There was a lot of bitching and whining and complaining because I've been through a lot in this lifetime. I had to learn self-forgiveness, and then I had to learn how to forgive other people. Not that I didn't know all of this. It's just, it's easier said than done. That whole forgive them pops, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, or they don't know what they're doing. They're not awakened. So please, if there's one thing that I can do is help awaken people to who you are, learn self-love and self-care, take care of you first. I've said it a bunch of times. You need to make sure that the oxygen mask is on yourself before you can help other people. I had to learn that the hard way because I would give and give and give so much, and then I'd be exhausted that I couldn't even give to myself then. That has happened a lot with resources too. Saturn had taught me, you know what, you would give the shirt off your back to anybody. I know. I know that's really hard. But when we forgive and we release and we say, you know what, there's not a damn thing I can do, and you're kind of backed into a corner, and there's not anything we could do about it, then we got to leave it in God's hands to deal with. That pressure comes to back you in a corner so that you let go and not stay complacent anymore. You can fight the divine all you want. You'll lose every time, or you'll stay complacent, or you'll come back and have to do this bullshit again. And nobody wants to have to do that. I don't want that for any of my subscribers. So, as the blue flame that I am, I have to put out what I'm hearing as well. And it's that time, friends and fam. Many of us have dreams and goals, and there's things that we want to do to help other people. And it just seems like, how can I help the collective? Well, we pull our resources together and we help each other that way. We've got to turn off the distractions. This being in PSD. Well, PTSD, you can be healed of that. And there's certain things that are going to always trigger us, but it's to trigger us into action, and to start being able, okay, why am I feeling and seeing this cycle? And that's really what PTSD is. It's reliving the past trauma over and over and over again. And then it becomes a repetitive cycle because we don't have proper boundaries. But it's helped. But I've noticed even for myself, I don't have to, it's not a necessity. It's not a necessity. If it helps, that's fine. Especially if it helps with sleeping. It's natural. I don't have really a problem with bud. I don't. I understand some people don't like the marijuana, but it's not, if it's not manufactured with a bunch of drugs, chemicals in it, it's natural. That's why I'm like, should be able to grow our own. Then you know what's in it. Yep. CBD has helped a lot of people though, with pain and other things. CBD doesn't get you high to escape. And the escaping and not facing can help sometimes, but eventually it's going to come right back around. You're going to have to finally face the trauma. Mhm. Well, I don't really take anything at this point as far as CBD. It's expensive to buy. And well, if I had my choice, it would be all legal. There's reasons why it's illegal that are federally or statewide, and a lot of it has to do with because they couldn't tax it and control it. That's why. Now they figured out a way, and now things are getting lifted. Not. I knew some narcs who were potheads. That's the truth. I knew some narcs who were real big potheads. It helps with them calming down, but like they come in all shapes, forms, and sizes. And eventually, what I've really noticed with them is more alcoholism. Um, that's the biggest one. Is no self control, especially when it comes to drinking. And there's usually other things that are involved too. A lot of times people mistake alcoholism or gambling, spending problems, those type of things, escaping for that hit of dopamine to make them feel better. And they're never satisfied. They always want more, more, and more. And that's narcissistic. um, when it's supply, when nothing is ever fulfilling that hole, that perpetual hole in their soul. Hmm. Um, Sometimes people need to be rattled. Like I said, that my whole chart is about me being rattled the whole life. Now I have some trines going on, so hopefully, there'll be some good things that are happening, and when it comes to rebuilding. Yeah, I get the manic part too, um, but the real high high and then real low low. Um, I know when I have the energy to do things, I need to do it. Um, my days of everything that I've learned up to this point, everything that we've all learned up to this point, we don't need to keep relearning. Now we need to push it to the limit and move forward. It's about taking everything you've learned and build off that. Um, for yourself and for the collective. And I kept on getting a phrase today. We need to have wholeness before we can have oneness. And one of the beautiful things that I've been seeing, because it was a view that I've had as well, is I'd always be like, why do I keep attracting these, same types of people? Is it spirit hopping to these people? Am I being trolled by Satan? Possibly. I think that we all have demonic energy. If you're a light being and you're here and you love God, and there's demonic energies that jump on people to stop you, to stop your shine, steal from you. It's all for your growth and a lesson. It's about teaching you boundaries and teaching you who the true source is to go to and building yourself back up. Well, I ain't gonna put a label on anything. Some people could call it personality disorder, whatever. Some people just, one of the things that was shocking to me, and it really made me think of the spirit hopping thing, was how I saw a difference if I would run into an ex narc, so to speak, that I've dealt with. Sure, like they don't change. Then they're not going to change in your perception ever. We know what it is. We know what happened. But I have noticed, and whether or not it's um, they really are doing well, or it's just a facade that it's when you don't care, that you're not mad because they're doing well. Okay? Put it that way. When you wish them well and can forgive, that breaks that chain. Breaks it right off you. And we're in the middle of chain breaking. It's one of the things that we had to do as a collective. We're not victims. We got to stop the victim mentality. I have CPTSD. I have all kinds of stuff. I was just talking to OG Light Warrior today about some of the things that not a lot of people don't know that I've gone through. Um, as far as like not just emotional or, but physical ailments and the reasons behind it. Um, and not to be bitter about it, but to do what I can for myself and the collective and move forward, do it, continuing to do good and continuing to put out. And there's a way you can get away from that, even if you can. Um, being triggered is no joke. It isn't. And the thing is, you got to break away from, if you're still being triggered by certain people, you got to break away from that person. And I know that it's hard. And sometimes it's not. We just think that it's impossible. But ask for God to make a way. Ask for the universe to make a way for you to be able to break free. It's important, and it's detrimental. So that you can get yourself right. I'm not mad at anybody who's been, they've made me stronger, and I've said this. I'm thankful. Of course, I don't want no more pain, but I'm thankful for the growth. Sort of like giving birth. If you're a female in here, you go through 9 months of this change. Yeah. Well, if there's anything that you can do for yourself, do it. We're in the middle of building now. And with building, we can't continue in the same repetitive thought patterns. We have to look at things from a higher perspective. And when I say we, me and the whole collective, is looking at our experiences from a higher perspective of, can they really help what they do? Should we put up with it? No. But can they really help it? They were programmed to do what they do. They were programmed to be a stumbling block. God got something for that. Trust that. You know? But God will make a way. All you got to do is ask. The Creator will make a way. Are you willing to step through when the Creator makes a way, though? Are you willing to break out? That has been big for me. Like, all right, here's your way. Now you're going to walk through the door. This bright and better. It's just you don't see what's on the other side of the door because of breaking the programming. I asked that. Well, be writing down your dreams. Be writing down goals. That's a huge thing. Setting goals for yourself and keeping those goals. Doing things every day to make you feel better. Oh, my ear just popped. Doing things every day to make you feel better. That's because darkness flees when you mention the name of Jesus. They can't stand that. Usually they'll freaking, you mention Yeshua, Satan hates that. So they'll manifest. It's how it is. You can mention any other name of an ascended master. None of them make demonic forces manifest or cringe like Yeshua. That's just the facts. And it's because there's power in that. Jesus, Yeshua knew who he was. Yeshua knew had gifts that. We all get gifts. Hi, C. Weston. How are you? We all have gifts that we need to contribute in this world. And building yourself back up from a place, creating beauty from the ashes you were left in, is the biggest slap in the face to dark forces. That's why many of us have been dealing with a lot of not very nice people, because your very presence and the light that rests on you and the spirit that rests on you stirs up their insecurities. Is meant to. And just like our insecurities were stirred up, especially over the last few years, it was to get all that, it was to purify and to bring all the dross and all the grossness and programming to the surface to be able to be released so that you can walk in your true divine destiny and power. We're in a phase of building now. And this time in history, we need each other more than ever. That's why you survived this crap. That is exactly why you survived this crap. It was all a divine plan and a divine setup to make you better in the long run. Turning beauty into ashes, or ashes into something beautiful. It's the phoenix rising and saying, I'm not a victim. I might have had some shit circumstances happen, but I'm not no victim. And I learned from those things that have happened. And we're going to build something beautiful from it. Is there anything else you want to speak on before I close this stream? And okay, for some, I know some of us, including myself, I had, especially this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, especially up closer to Canada, it gets cold here. I mean, there's some sunlight that's out sometimes, but it's so cold to be out. Well, borderlines can be helped. They have to want it, though. You can't force a borderline to change. You can give them ideas, and your best defense is that peace within. Always. before you even get around these people. Ground yourself. Know who you are. You were created to be a light for somebody, whether it's in your family, whether it's out in public. Why do you think that they want to? One of the things that they want to do in public is they don't want people to be able to see you from here on down, because when you have a nice smile on your face, it makes people feel better. And if they can't see that, it keeps people in fear. To have joy and peace and calm in your life, that spreads like wildfire. And it's a biblical principle. One of the things that Jesus had said is, when you go into a house, let your peace rest on that house and the people who dwell in. And if it's not respected, that peace will come back to you. You got to speak it out your mouth. Peace. That's how Jesus stopped the storm. He spoke peace into the atmosphere. It's a biblical principle I'm teaching you. If you need peace within, what you need to do is ask for it. We all know how I feel about what's going on in the 3D with everything going on in the world. And we're not going to talk about that. I'm going to let God handle them from now on. There's no peace there. We're going to let God handle that arena. Stay informed, absolutely. Don't do it by the MSM. In control of everything. We just have to remember as a people that this isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. We got to look at the bigger picture as to why. I know. And that's all we can do, is to keep on trying. We have to remember that the Creator loves us unconditionally, even though we mess up. We have to forgive ourselves. That's probably the hardest thing, is to be able to forgive ourselves for our mess ups. People like to throw that right back in your face. Oh, well, you did this and you did that, and you said this and you said that, instead of being like, mm-hmm. And then it gets you to doubt yourself when people start throwing stuff back at you. Be like, I don't want to be like that no more. I want to change. Either you're part of that change, or sorry, I forgive you, but we need to go our separate ways and move along. Because I'm heading this way, which is a road of forgiveness, especially when it comes to forgiving myself. And there's no hard feelings. But I'm going this way. You all can go that way. I'm going that way, because that's the road and the path that Spirit's leading me. Enough with the people pleasing. Enough with not shining your light, because it's going to trigger somebody. Enough with not expressing joy and expressing your creativity and your individuality. That's what they want to stifle. Creativity comes straight from the Creator. Hello, from the divine. Why do you think we refer to the divine as a creator? And the divine in us, when the divine is dwelling within, you're a creator. You get to build that way. You get to build God's way. You get to build your life back way more than we ever thought could be, especially in times like this. Get creative. That's because they want to steal your joy. There's power in happiness and joy. People want to take your power. That's why. Do it more. Do it more, C. Weston. Do it more. That's so we have to learn how to do is push through, whether it ticks people off or not. Keep pushing. Because time is short. And we have to let God be God and let God do what God's going to do. We're only a fractal of God. No. Nope. You want to know when you're feeling like that? Take it straight to God. I'm not even kidding. God does not get mad when we're having a bad day. God wants to hear it come out of our mouth. God already knows anyway. So guess what? Just the other week I had a meltdown. I'm like, God, why are you allowing this to happen? And why is this? Do you not understand? Like, did you forget? No, God didn't forget. God said, I'm in control of this. On my timing. You got one job and be my kid. Thank you for telling me you're pissed. I got this. Now you do, you know you're called to do and continue. I got your back. Well, we need to take everything to God at this point. That's where you're going to find your peace. That's where you're going to find understanding as to why things are going the way they are, why things have happened. And you'll find joy in that. When it's like, all right, God, creator of the universe of all things, what is going on? I know you've told me, along with a lot of other prophetic people, why? None of my business, apparently. God got it. I just need to continue to do what I'm doing. And the world has enough troubles. Yeah. It's because we like to be in control. We like to have, and that is a mastery of self-control. Being able to control yourself. That's a mastery that everybody is learning. God wants us to have self-control. It's part of the fruits of the Spirit. It's a big one. So make sure you're loving yourself. Make sure you're forgiving yourself when you make mistakes. If other people can't forgive you, that's not your job. Oh well, let them stay in bitterness. You just detach yourself. Yeah, then you don't get answers and you don't hear clear. And you're like, why did you leave me and forsake me, God? He said he'd never leave you or forsake you. You're his kid. So stay happy. Stay in peace. That's one of the things that pisses people off the most is when they see you're doing good without them. when you're so codependent on their need for whatever. We only need first this connection first, and then it can be this connection. But this connection with the divine needs to be first. And all things will work out for good. Anybody else want to finish that? For those who are called and walking in their purpose. Might not know how in the heck made some bad choices along the way. God knew the beginning from the end. The universe put us here at this time to be salt and light. And have peace and joy and be different and set apart from the rest of the crap that's going on. Now we can so easily get sucked in and pulled into doo-doo. I'm guilty. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Just remember that. That's the better way of being able to give out grace is when you realize I'm not freaking perfect. Nobody's perfect. We live in a very imperfect world. But we're here to be salt and light, and what is that very thing is having peace and joy in the midst of trials and tribulation. That's what ticks off dark forces. That's what ticks off people who are demonically influenced. Of course, we don't want to hurt anybody. We just want to live our lives in peace. So, there's a lot of things that could keep me in a state of confusion and sadness and worry and anxiety, and I'm not choosing that. I'm choosing joy and peace. Period. And I hope that you all choose the same. It's a better place to be. If you have to, put on some meditation music. If you have to, get out the word. Start reading in Psalms. Learn how to fight for your soul. And grow. We're not on titty milk no more, people. You gotta be it. Well, I do that and meditation and just say help. I've realized how my words, because we create through the power of the spoken word, which is one thing that a lot of people have not realized, that's how we manifest. Through your thoughts and your words. And then action to back it up. Like, you can have a great idea. And you can tell somebody about it. But if you don't make the action before you even tell somebody about it, a lot of times people, I've seen it happen to me all the time. Where I had something that I wanted to do or a goal or whatever, and then someone would steal it. So I got very, 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 very selective with who I would share my dreams and goals with. Because I didn't, and that actually was told to me from, as being me being an extroverted is what I used to. I'd get a revelation from spirit, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And then someone would try and sabotage it, or they would say it was theirs. I've saw that happen a lot. And I'm just like, And my face does not lie. You got that idea? Mm-hmm. And it was just little things like, but now that there's bigger things that are, I've been getting, this one thing I learned is I had to keep things between me and God until I'm ready to move on them. And I want y'all to sit and think about that too in your own life. Especially when it's like doing good for other people and things that'll help other people. People will steal your ideas if you're not already in the process of doing it. And then it kind of sets you back and you're like, well, I know my product's way better. It was completely inspired from the creator. So, um, and my anointing smeared all over it. My own essence. That's something that someone can never steal from you, is the essence of God that rests on you. Remember that. You're an individual and authentic. That's something that nobody can ever take from you. Is your God center and your creativity and your authenticity of what makes up who you are. I'm going to leave you with that. I love you guys. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody can steal it. They could try and mimic it. But what God has for you is for you. Pursue your goals. Pursue your dreams. Yeah, we do have to live in this mundane reality of Earth. How are you going to live it? Living your best life. That's how I plan on living it. From here on out, the last 45 years of my life are going to be better than the first 45. I love you guys. Take care. Have a good evening. I have a Lightworker Starseed reading I'm going to put out at one point, but I figured I would come on and just give you a little bit of a blues inspirational talk for the day. Well, thanks, C. Weston. I'm going to let you know something. For some people who don't understand what I do and how I find people on YouTube in this community, especially on this channel. Hi, Stace. How are you? My sister's on here. I sometimes do pull tarot cards. I know some people are a little on that because it's a tool. Okay, it's a tool that the universe has given me to be able to help pull people out of the dark that were stuck. They're looking for answers, they're looking for prophetic people. And God put me in that community to help shine the light and help pull people out who are hurting. So if you have issues with card reading and stuff like that, get on Jehu's Revenge. That's more of my other channel. I don't have enough subscribers on Jehu's Revenge yet to be able to go live. So, oh, cool. Well, then you might like my channel. Hi, Jess. How are you? Thanks, C. Weston. I'm glad that you found my channel. And Jehu's Revenge, that channel is more about narcissism and how to get through it. And I have some pretty harsh messages over there too. This isn't for the weak. This is to help people. Well, I'm glad you're well. I'm an Aries sun. April 2nd. So, I love you. I'm getting off of here though. Yeah, they're everywhere. There's a lot of things that I've learned about narcissism and abuse and all that other stuff. And one of the things that God was saying is, we need to come out of the whole victim thing and move forward. I know, Stace, sorry, but I've been on here almost an hour now, and yep, I'm a fire sign. I do have my North Node is in Sag, so um oh, my natal Neptune's there too, so got a lot of fire in me. I have no Leo in my chart though. I have a freaking, oh, and Jupiter's in Aries, so that also is your ruling planet. I know a lot about astrology, so I had something that I've studied. I understand. One of the things that God said is watch the stars and watch the moon cycles. There was signs of the end times that had to do with the stars and the moon cycles and stuff. So I bring a lot of that element onto my channel too. And I'm looking for other people who are hurting that I can give them clarity and help them get out of whatever situation they're in, especially if they're stuck in a bad, toxic relationship. What do I know about Sag? Sag is the third most elevated fire sign. They're in the upper echelon. They're extremely intuitive and pretty well psychic if they turn on those gifts. They don't like to be constricted or restricted at all. And Aries and Sagittarius usually get along very, very well. I thought about net therapy certificate. You mean like coaching? I know that there's some certified life coaches out there, if that's what you're talking about. Oh, hi, Amy. How are you? I didn't know that was you. Sorry, Amy. Didn't know that was you. I thought about it. As far as life coaching and stuff like that. I don't feel like I need to be certified. I do it anyway. I mean, I get it for the certification part of it. I have a sociology degree and a criminal justice degree. Plus, I've studied narcissism like a sucker. Why in the heck do I need to be certified when I've gone through it and lived my life and know life experience is way more valuable than some for stupid certification? But I get it for the whole point of being able to, especially if they allow life coaches, which I think they should, if they allow life coaches to actually be able, for their services, be able to allow people to use their insurance. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Good. I want to see that. Oh, I said that I wanted to read that. Thank you for sending it. I want to check it out. Yeah, I have the experiences. That's one of the things that God had said, you have all this life experience, you've gone through all of this stuff. It wasn't for you per se, it was to help other people get over yourself and do the work. You're not a victim. Sorry. You're a victor. All right, I'm out. We'll see you later. I love you. Take care from Central Pennsylvania and the great draconian fraud state. I have to say it. It is what it is. Love you too. I love you all. Hit the thumbs up button before you get off here, please. I'd appreciate it. We'll see you later. Mwah. Bye, guys.